Nana Grace heard the faint cry of a baby. Her heart quickened as she followed the sound until she found the abandoned infant. Shocked, in a quiet town nestled between rolling hills and dense forest, there lived a young girl named Lila. At just 16, Lila was full of life, dreams, and ambitions. But like many in her situation, her path took an unexpected turn when she discovered she was pregnant. Frightened and confused, she kept her secret hidden, hoping against hope that somehow things would turn out okay. The months passed quickly, and soon Lila found herself alone in the darkest hour of the night, cradling her newborn daughter. Fear overwhelmed her. The life she had known was slipping away, replaced by the heavy burden of responsibilities she wasn't ready for. In a moment of desperation, Lila did something that would haunt her for years to come. She wrapped her baby girl in a thin blanket, snuck out of the house, and laid the infant gently by the side of a lonely road on the outskirts of the town. With tears streaming down her face, Lila ran away, leaving behind the tiny bundle that carried her blood, her future, and her past. As dawn broke, an elderly woman named Nana Grace was taking her usual morning walk along that very road. She was a kind soul known in the village for her wisdom and compassion. Her husband has passed away many years ago, and her children were grown, living far away. She spent her day in solitude, tending to her small garden and offering advice to anyone who sought it. On that particular morning, as she walked, Nana Grace heard the faint cry of a baby. Her heart quickened as she followed the sound until she found the abandoned infant. Shocked, yet with a heart full of empathy, she gently picked up the baby. As she gazed into the baby's innocent eyes, she knew she could not leave her there. Nana Grace took the baby home and named her Hope, a symbol of the new life she would give the child. Years passed and Hope grew into a bright and loving girl under Nana's Grace's care. She learned the values of kindness, perseverance, and love. The old woman, though not her biological grandmother, showered her with affections, and Hope never lacked for anything. Yet, deep inside, Hope always wondered about her true origin. Nana Grace, sensing this, promised that one day she would learn the truth. Meanwhile, Lila's life had taken a different path. Consumed by guilt, she had left the town soon after abandoning her baby girl, wandering from place to place, trying to bury the memory of that fatal night. But no matter where she went, she couldn't escape the haunting image of her daughter's face. She worked menial jobs, barely surviving, but the weight of her past followed her like a shadow. One day, years later, Lila found herself back in the town she once called home. The streets were familiar, yet everything felt different. Lila had her normal menial jobs in a garden far from the river. At this moment, she was thirsty and had no water on her bottle. She sighted a well kept house with a garden bursting with colorful flowers. Something drew her to the house, and she stood at the gate. She heard the laughter of a young girl. Lila's heart skipped. It was a sound that felt both foreign and familiar. Hope, now a teenager, was in the garden helping Nana's Grace tend to the flowers when she noticed Lila standing by the gate. She called out warmly, "Hello, can I help you?" Lila hesitated, not sure of what to say. She had no reason to be there, yet she couldn't bring herself to leave. Hope walked up to the gate. smiling brightly. Would you like to come in? Nana and I just finished up here. Without knowing why, Lila nodded. She followed Hope into the garden, her eyes scanning the surroundings, feeling a strange sense of belonging. As they entered the house, Lila noticed the familiar warmth and comfort, a stark contrast to the coldness she had felt for long. Nana Grace, with her gentle eyes and warm smile, welcomed Lila as they sat down. Lila struggled to find her voice. There was something about Nana Grace and Hope that felt eerily familiar, but she couldn't place it. It wasn't until she noticed a small locket around Hope's neck, a locket that Lila herself had worn as a child, that everything came crashing down. Lila's hand trembled as she stared at the locket, and Nana's Grace, noticing her reaction, quietly observed her. "You recognize the locket?" Nana Grace said softly, her voice filled with understanding. Lila nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. I think I do. It was mine a long time ago." Hope looked between the two women, confused yet curious. "Nana, what's going on? Who is she?" she asked with a cup of water in her hand. Nana Grace took a deep breath and began to tell the story of how she found Hope abandoned by the roadside. As she spoke, Lila's sobs grew louder. The guilt and shame she carried for so long, Lila whispered, her voice barely audible. "I was scared and I didn't know what to do," she said. Hope, though shocked, felt a strange connection to Lila. She didn't fully understand the situation, but something inside her told her that this woman was important. She reached out and took Lila's hand, squeezing it gently. In that moment, all the years of pain, fear, and guilt began to dissolve. Lila looked into Hope's eyes, and for the first time in many years, she felt something she thought she had lost forever. Over the next few days, Lila spent more time with Hope and Nana Grace. They talked, laughed, and slowly began to heal. Lila told Hope about her past, about the fear that led her to make such a terrible decision. Hope listened, her heart full of compassion. Despite everything, she couldn't bring herself to hate the woman who had given her life. Instead, she felt a deep desire to help. The three of them formed an unbreakable bond built on love, forgiveness, and understanding. Lila found peace in knowing that her daughter had been cared for by such a wonderful woman, and Hope found joy in having her mother in her life despite the rocky start. One day, as they sat together in the garden, Hope turned to Lila and said, "You gave me life, and Nana gave me love. Together, you both gave me everything I needed." Lila smiled, tears in her eyes, "And you gave me a second chance, something I never thought I deserved." Hope, with her bright and unwavering spirit, looked at her mother and Nana Grace and said, "We all deserve a second chance." And in that small, quiet town, three women, born by faith and love, found their second chance together, creating a life filled with hope, love, and endless possibilities.